Okay, here we go with completing the square. This is what we're working with, what we've been working on here right before Thanksgiving. I just want to make sure I have a video available for you guys to look at. This is the same stuff that we covered in class both Monday and Tuesday, and we'll go through this. Okay, completing the square is going to be a way to get us into vertex form. All right, and that's really, really important for us to be able to do that. That vertex form makes it really easy to graph a parabola, to be able to see what it looks like and how to do those things. So here's what we do. First of all, this is in vertex form, and so what we have here, this is in vertex form. The vertex is, this is the x-coordinate of the vertex. So the vertex is going to be, now remember, this is just like when we did our transformations. This is inside the parentheses, so that tells me it's going to be the opposite of that. So the vertex is at -3, comma, and then here's the y-coordinate. This is the y-coordinate, so it's -2. All right, so if I was to graph this, then I go 1, 2, 3, down 2, there's my dot. This particular one, if you notice up front, this tells me if it's reflected or if it's not, or if it's stretched. This is not stretched. So then this parabola opens normally, which is what I would call is up. So it opens up. And I'm sorry about this. I'm writing with my fingertips, so it's not going to be that pretty. No, it's never that pretty anyway. So, nope, that doesn't work. So this opens up. Now, normal growth. Normal growth of a parabola is it goes right or left and left, 1, and then up, 1. It also then goes right and left, 2, but then up, 4. Then right and left, 3, then up, 9. So if I go back to my graph right here of this one, I have my point. I will go right 1, up 1, put a dot. I will go back to the vertex. I go right 2, up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, put a dot. I go right 3, 1, 2, 3, up 9. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There it is. So there's my dots right there. Now I go the other side then. Left 1, up 1, put a dot. Left 2, up 4, put a dot. Left 3, up 9, put a dot. And there's my parabola. Okay, and that's just a sketch of it. It's just kind of get us started here a little bit. So now this one, okay, I noticed right away I got a 2 there, -2 there. So that's going to give me some information. But the vertex is still inside of there. So it'll be the opposite of this, the -1, and then the 5. This opens. Now, if I notice it's a -2. So this opens down. It is not growing normally. It's growing by a factor of -1. So I would go right, left, 1. Normally, I would go 1. But because this is stretched, I multiply that by -2. So this is -2. Then my next one will be right and left. I would go 2. Normally, I would go 4, but I multiply that by -2. So I'm going down 8. Then right and left, 3. Normally I go 9, but this is being stretched by -2, so I go down to -18. So just a quick sketch of this. 1, 5. I go over 1, down 2 on both sides, right and left, and then down 8, so it's way down here. So this parabola is definitely going to be more steep than the other one. All right, now let's talk about how we factor this, how we take a standard form quadratic and put this into factored form, into vertex form. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I have to be able to complete the square, and these are perfect square trinomials. So if I look at this and I want to factor this, it multiplies to make 4, but adds to make 4. Now that tells me the numbers are 2 and 2. And I can go through and do this a long way as far as factoring, but I'm going to choose to do it the fast way. So the pair right here happen to be the numbers that go inside here. Well, since those two things are the same, it factors like this. And we're going to use this a lot for these. So now this next one multiplies to make 9, but adds to make -6. So it's x minus 3, x minus 3. Now this is really an important step for these. So every time that I look at these things, I want to look at that, and I'm really hoping that my two numbers are exactly the same. They should be. And I'm going to start creating these things for this today. So to be able to do these problems, okay, any quadratic can be written as a perfect square trinomial, but there's a process, and that process is called completing the square. To do that, you need to start to form this. So we get to choose the number that goes right in here. So what I want to do is I want to be able to choose, and I want to be able to factor this into 2 so that this is an x, this is an x, but this one and this one have to add up to make 10. So it adds to make 10, and the kicker here is both numbers must be the same. Well, that means that this multiplies to make 25 because my numbers are 5 and 5. So this is 25. So now this one, what I'm really looking to do is I really want to take this number right here is the b number. I want to take half of b and square it. So if I take half of -12, I get -6. -6 squared is 36. So this would be half b squared. This is important. Okay, now what happens if it's an odd? All right, so I would take -9 over 1 times 1/2, -9 over 2, and square that. So it's -9 over 2 times -9 over 2, 81 over 4. I never change this into a decimal, and I always multiply it out this way. It just makes it easier for me. So like this one, I want to take half of 2, 1, and square it. So this is just 1. All right, now let's do the whole process. To do this, all right, the first thing I have to do is I got to move this number. And I'll move it over here. To do that, I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. Now, I got to tell you, I always replace the y with a 0, or I just ignore it. You could leave it in there and it ends up to be y equals, and that's fine. I just get rid of it. It doesn't make any difference. And then I'll put it back in there. So it's kind of a mystery, but that's just what I do. I could leave that y right here, and it doesn't do anything different. I'll put it in there just because. So I got x squared plus 8x. Now on this side, now I can make my perfect square trinomial. So I want to take half of 8 and square it. So half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So I got to add a 16 there. Well, if I add a 16 on the right side of the equal sign, I got to add a 16 on the left. All right, so there I am. I'm doing good. This is what I want. Now, I chose this number so I could factor this. So that means on the right-hand side, this factors as x plus 4 20 squared. The left-hand side stays the same. Okay, so now I need to move this 15 to the other side. So let's subtract it from both sides. And now this is in vertex form. The vertex is -4, -15. It opens up and it's normal growth. All that stuff you can get from here really quick and easy. Let's do another one. Okay, I don't like that 2. Let's add that 2 to both sides. Okay, now let's take half of this and square it. So half of that is negative 6 squared is 36, and we'll add that to both sides. Let's factor the right-hand side. And let's bring that 38 over. Okay, now I have it in vertex form. The vertex is at 6, negative 38. It opens up in its normal growth. Works out pretty well. This one, let's add the 8 to both sides. Let's take half of 20 and square it. So let's add 100. I don't know that it appears to be hard for me to put that squared there. All right, now let's factor the right-hand side. And let's move the 108. There we go. All right. Now, that's basically what we did for both those 2 days. Tuesday, we did a little bit more. We just practiced this some more, but it was basically all the same thing. And so that's about it. I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. I hope that this helps you out a little bit. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.